Okay, so the only things I use tomatoes on are tomato sauce for pizza and 2 tomatoes on a burger.
Okay, very specific.
Any more
Specifically 2 slices.
Yeah. If I have more than 2 burgers, or I wish I had more than 2 burgers. Hi guys, I'm Arleo. Welcome to the Kitchen Drink, where we're rating your fridges and making some delicious crafty cocktails. Today I'm here with James. James is a friend and roommate of Connor's. If you've seen that episode, here it is in front of James's face. Perfect. This is actually the first time I'm making a drink for James. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the kinds of things you like drinking?
I like drinking wine, beer, and scotch.
Oh, so you're an easy, an easy date.
Exactly. Wines, I'm not super particular. I like all kinds of beers, but specifically like pale ales and Hefeweizen. Scotch, I don't get to drink it very often, but I love it.
I don't know very many people of your age that actually like scotch.
It's hard to justify spending on it.
Sounds like you like those bold flavors, really.
I like bold flavors. I like savory flavors. So if
Cool.
you eat savory drinks, I'm all for it.
You're graduating from USC this semester as well?
I am as well.
Congratulations. Welcome to adulthood. Do not advise it. Do you have any plans after college?
I have 2 kind of paths I'm considering. One of them has to do with image classification of video game streams for a startup in New York, and the other is a game that I'm developing as a part of the Advanced Games project, developing with 2 of my best friends. It is a cinematic platformer, kind of in the vein of Inside or Limbo. A lot of little sea lions that you need to save.
Aww.
Very relevant.
Maybe I'll make a sea lion related drink. Maybe I won't. I probably won't. We're talking the other definition of clubbing, not that definition of clubbing. Alright, so let's go.
Let's do it. Let's drink.
After that hilarious joke, we're gonna grab this tea and the champagne dressing we saw last time when we made Connor's drink. We might pair the dressing with any of these jars since we're going savory. Definitely gonna use an egg though. We're gonna pop into this dark kitchen and grab this rye. Since they're all in the kitchen and I don't really want to move them, I'm gonna make the drink on the floor here. Separate the egg yolk from the egg white. Use just a little bit of that champagne dressing, it's a little oily. Then we add the tea and the rye. Give that a dry shake, then shake with ice. And taste it, because you always want to taste. And it's a good thing I did, because I realized I need some sweetener. Grab that maple syrup and shake this thing back up. Strain this into this fun little mousse glass, and rather than bitters on top of the egg, we're gonna add a little sprinkle of salt. Let's see what James thinks.
It's not a baby sea lion, but it is another animal.
Oh, this is great. It's
All
got
right.
a little handlebar. That's good. I like it. You went savory.
Yeah, I
like
did.
It. Good call. I can taste the champagne dressing, because I know that's mine. I put that on my salads. I taste the spice of some variety.
Mhm.
I don't know what that spice is. It's like a pepper? How'd you film that? That's cool.
That's another thing you have to guess.
I'm not a good mixologist.
I want to say, if you're not a good drinker, then what are you doing?
To the alcohol. Is it tequila? Maybe tequila?
Before you finish that off, want to see what's in there?
Yeah, I'd love to.
We're going to start with... Stop looking there. You're supposed to be surprised when you see it.
I will be surprised, I guarantee
I
it.
figured you would see it, so I kept things there so that even if you looked, psychology, I was not a psychology major. So I'm gonna start with the liquor that I put in there. It's not tequila, it is in fact
Ooh,
rye.
wild turkey. I like
yes. It was the one that was apparently just showed up out of nowhere, so
Yeah, we have no clue whose it is, but I'm glad I drank it.
I guess it's mine now. No, man, you really do like that.
No, I do, it's good.
I like to throw in a weird ingredient that usually goes in people's food. You're yet another person that guessed your weird ingredient. It was the champagne dressing.
It happens to be my favorite salad dressing.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's mine.
In most sours, your acid is a lemon or lime juice. I found none of that in this fridge. In fact, when I worked with Connor's, I had to use boxed orange juice and compensate for that with horseradish mustard. Instead, the acidic component is the champagne dressing. It also adds a little body to the drink, like a little bit of almost oiliness.
It definitely makes it a little creamy.
Speaking of creamy, what made that foam there is egg white. Just classic drink concept. Whip it up with some alcohol, makes that nice foam, adds more of that creaminess, masks some of the harsh flavor. Actually, the first time I made this, I didn't have the sweetener. I keep making this mistake because I assume things are sweeter than they actually are. But I did have to add a sweetener. That sweetener is this maple syrup.
Oh, nice.
Maple syrup's just delicious.
It's delicious.
There's no other way to describe it. Obviously, I didn't use like straight up champagne dressing because that would have been too much. What I used to add some body and a little bit of bitterness to this drink was
Nice, my tea. I love tea.
lemon tea, unsweetened lemon tea. That's what I didn't read the first time I did it. That's where I got it wrong. So this adds most of the body for the drink. This is about 2 ounces of rye, 1.5 ounces of the tea, and 1/2 ounce of the champagne dressing. Funny thing is, I didn't add any spice.
The champagne dressing?
I think so, but I did add one little thing right on top. The egg foam is really nice because it holds its weight, basically. Most of the time you'll garnish a drink that's a whiskey sour with some bitters on top, so it's a nice pretty little design, or a spritz of the bitters in a stencil. But to go with the whole savory drink that you're having, I decided to top it off with just a little more pink Himalayan sea salt. Literally just went like that. There was some stuck in the grinder. Salt helps round out a lot of the flavors that you get in a drink. If something is super sweet, you add a little bit of salt and it'll tone it down.
When you're working with ingredients that are clearly like off the wall, like champagne dressing, how do you decide to proportion things? Do you taste along the way, or?
I actually tasted this drink about 4 times before I was actually happy with it. The one thing I actually do is I don't try to make up a new drink on the spot. Everything I make is based on very simple drinks. This one is just a really convoluted whiskey sour. So really I'm just taking these basic drink concepts, tasting things along the way, seeing where they generally fall in flavor profiles, and just working from there.
It turned out really well.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thanks.
What do you think of that being in your drink?
That shocked me a little bit. It's very nice. I didn't think you could make a drink with this.
Now you know.
Now I don't think I'm gonna try making a whiskey sour with champagne sauce. But real talk, I've never ordered a whiskey sour, so I think this is a drink I'd actually order at a bar, like a whiskey sour.
We got a new egg white whiskey sour drinker here. So guys, that's James's kitchen drink, where we put in everything but the kitchen sink. Remember to drink responsibly. Bye.
Bye. Fight on.
Oh man, classic school plug.
School plug. What? We have tubes of wine.
Did you say tubes of wine?
Yeah, look. Wine in tube form.
Oh.